players who had a 1% chance of making it to the MLB. Back in the late 1990s, there was a catcher named Chris Cost who was living in Fargo, North Dakota, and he was not just playing for a small college, but after graduating, he was stuck bouncing around in independent leagues that barely anyone outside of the Midwest had ever heard of. So while most future Major League Baseball players were already getting drafted, or at least playing in farm systems for big league teams, Cost was working odd jobs just to make ends meet, and he spent his nights playing for teams like the Fargo Moorhead Redhawks, hoping someone would notice him. But what happened over the next decade is honestly wild. You see, Cost was not just overlooked once or twice, as he actually spent 11 whole years in the minors and independent leagues, and during that time, he even got released by the Pirates right after spring training, which meant he had to go right back to the independent leagues, and it felt like every time he got a little closer to the majors, something would happen to knock him back down. Meanwhile, he was getting older every single year, and most teams just did not believe a guy in his 30s who had never played in the majors could really help them. But shortly after this, he would finally get his shot. The thing is, after all those years, the Philadelphia Phillies finally gave Cost a real chance, and in 2006, when he was already 33 years old, he got called up to the big leagues for the very first time. So even though he started out by going hitless in his first 13 at-bats, he did not give up, and then he finally got his first major league hit, which completely changed everything for him. And after that, he just kept hitting, and fans in Philadelphia started to fall in love with this underdog who had never given up on his dream. But what happened just 2 years later is what really turned Cost into a legend in Philadelphia. As it turns out, Cost was not just a feel-good story, because in 2008, he actually helped the Phillies win the World Series, and he even started Game 1 as the designated hitter, which is something almost nobody could have predicted when he was grinding it out in the minors for all those years.